I fake came out of the closet last night during Don's
oh my God.
show. Like it was this real built up thing because everybody kept calling me gay because I was making fun of everybody. I was wasted. So much fun. And anyway, so then I just rolled with it right at the end. Like, you fucking people. All right, you want to know the truth? I am gay. It was just this crazy. Don was, when Don's laughing, that's you're like, okay, I'm done here.
It's like making your dad laugh.
It really,
it's a big deal.
It's like making a fucking really hard dad laugh. Like if your dad's like one of the Bushes or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. They probably laugh a lot. They like,
Jeb Bush doesn't laugh very much.
Oh, hell no.
He's low energy.
It's no laughing matter.
God.
So we got Tony Hinchcliffe on today.
Hey.
Yeah, Roastmaster General. No, not Roastmaster General, but the best roaster I know.
Hey, there you go. That's what I like.
What's
to
the
hear.
second in
Host
command
of
of
Kill
the roast
Tony.
army?
I'm the roast emperor.
Nice.
I got fucking galaxies on this.
He crafts
shit.
all the jokes basically for all those shows.
Yeah, Jeff's the American representative. You know what I mean? The Roastmaster General. Oh, who's in command here? Oh.
Who fucking
The
knows,
emperor
dude?
is in
Obviously.
fucking command. No, I'm kidding.
Obviously.
Yeah, I make fun of people. It's a lot of fun. You guys know this
really
though.
good
This
at
was
it.
our first. Do you guys introduce them or something?
No. I just introduced the guests. Sometimes you forget to introduce the guests. People are like, "What the fuck kind of podcast are you guys doing here? What am I supposed to be doing?"
People don't listen to us for our professionalism. They listen to us because we say the N-word.
Whoa, really? You do?
We have.
Joseph has.
I would say that every black comic we've had has gone hog wild with the N-word.
That should be
true.
that
That's true.
now that the medium is changing, right? Everything is always evolving. That should be what you have to give a guest before they do your show, is a list of the words that have been said on your podcast and how many times.
I like a list
you will
of words
not
you
be
have to say.
Yeah.
You're going to have to use these ones. Use it in a sentence somehow.
Right.
Throw it in.
That's a great segment.
I've had a lot of gay friends that they're like, I couldn't listen to anymore because you guys said faggot so many times, and I was like, I'm sorry, but it's
sensitive.
It's a funny word.
That's when I turn it up.
How can people that take dick up the asshole be so sensitive?
I know. So tough, so firm.
I'm sure it gets annoying after they've heard it their entire fucking life. But I've never called a real faggot a faggot. I only call.
You think I don't get tired of being called
like
handsome all the
straight guys
time?
faggots.
Every fucking day of my life. Your beautiful blue eyes. I could swim in them. Leave me alone.
Let's face it. No one gets their balls busted more than gay guys, right? I could see why they could have a
But they also
soft
probably
side.
have they seem like they live the best life, you know?
They literally get their balls busted.
That's what
if
I'm
you
saying.
get to fuck 700 dudes a year, I don't have to feel sorry for you. You actually are living it up like a fucking king.
Well, a queen.
I'm going to make fun of you like a motherfucker. You're living the life, dude. That's the definition of punching up. No kids to take care of, no love.
They're also the best tippers, by the way.
They got the most money to tip with.
They got the money.
No fucking women to take care of.
I call gay
I'm
guys.
jealous.
I call gay guys wetbacks. It makes more sense in the modern age.
How dare you?
Yeah, and I call Mexican people faggots.
Because that's just
You know what? I'm an Albanian wetback, right?
Whoa, you are?
Yeah, I crossed the Rio Grande when I was 6 months old. My mom threw me across. Yeah.
Wow,
we paid
Albanian
coyotes.
wetback. That sounds like a Magic the Gathering card.
I know, dude.
7 points offense, 4
Yeah.
points defense.
All around the world, racism, man. I love it.
Well, we'll be wet back after these messages.
Yeah.
Oldie but a goodie there.
Fuck yeah, dude. So I remember when Kill Tony first started in the belly room, like what, 6 years ago?
6.5 years ago.
Okay, and now you guys do it in the main room every Monday night, and it's live, correct?
Yep. It's been live the whole time.
Okay.
In front of a live audience and live streaming, but we were live streaming on Vimeo. We showed loyalty to Vimeo for a long time.
Okay.
We bet on the old wrong horse there. You know what I mean?
I still use Vimeo.
I
like
put
it.
all my money into Dell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
dude.
doubled down on Vimeo, and so we got on YouTube about I'd say about a year and a half ago.
Same here.
And boy, oh boy, is that a difference maker.
Yeah.
Now we have thousands and thousands of people watching live, and those people can start rewatching the show like immediately. You know what I mean? Anybody
Right.
can. Once it's up, it's up, and And, you know, no commercials other than the ads that we read on this show. So it's really cool. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's awesome how far it's
There's
come.
not a single Monday that goes by in which I don't think about how dark and empty that main room sat every Monday that I was here working.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's packed on a Monday in there. When you walk by outside and the fucking line is going down the block, it's like to think that you could even have something in the belly room. Like, I remember after a while it was in the main room, and then a couple times you had to throw it in the belly room. Mm-hmm. It was just, like, packed. You could not get, like, comics
and
had to be
then how
off
many
in another
listeners do you
room.
guys have live? You guys have a bunch of live listeners, too,
yeah,
right?
It sort of depends on the weekend and the guest and the episode, but it's always within the range now of, like, 3 and 7, somewhere right in there, 3 and 7,000.
That's awesome.
Just live, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's also like it's also hard to get a strong signal. It's not these are the diehard fans that watch the audio that's coming from a microphone that's going through 2 boards. It's not
the best audio.
It's not fitted yet. Whatever the fucking technical terms are. It's not done up, edited. Not edited because it not things anyway. But you get it. And so like those are just people that absolutely don't want to miss what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's awesome, man. It's just really, it's a, you know, I feel like it's so special because it's so refillable.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan of Roast Battle. It's my favorite show that I have nothing to do with, basically. Mm-hmm. And I go up there and I watch it a lot and I fucking love it. This is nothing but love. However, you know, it sustains about, I don't know, 30 minutes of its max energy. And it's also like, it's also...
Is it because the undercards suck or what?
Well, it's just almost like, even if it's the overcard, even if it's the main event, it's still... there's no way to say without sounding like a dick, but there's nothing that I haven't heard. There's nothing that I'm like, wow, that's creative. I've been lucky. I've been in roast writers' rooms for 10 years.
Right.
A big competitive part of that world, big time.
Yeah.
You know, and roasted people and produced roasts and this and that. So it's like, it's just sort of like you. Whereas with Kill Tony, you pull a name out of a bucket and every story is so different. And that's another thing with that, with shows like that is you end up seeing the same people that are good at it. Sure. You end up seeing the same people. It's sort of the same jokes on that person. It's the same story. Whereas with Kill Tony, you can have someone bomb, but their story is amazing. The interview part is incredible. It turns out they have 3 penises and know how to play the drums. Like, it's like, what the fuck? And then they come on again, and maybe the set's better, which is awesome. And you find out, because I asked the right question. You find out, the mom was a midget and the dad was a big black guy, and then we get to do jokes about a big black guy fucking a midget.
And it's
you never know where
different.
the continuity is going to be from, like, a show down the road.
Right.
Somebody could be brand new, or there could even just be an interaction with somebody who's, I don't know, in the audience, but everybody knows who that is, like Aphrodite or whoever, you know?
Yeah, there's a couple of those people, And I'm not like trying to sell my show, but I'm just
you don't have to sell it.
I'm just taking note of things that I've like noticed lately, like really hitting me hard, because I'm always trying to look at, you know, how do we keep it super entertaining.
Well, here's what I've noticed about the roast battle, because I tend the bar, and then a lot of them they're going up, right? And I'm like, I've never even heard of you. I've never seen you before. And they're like, yeah, I just won my first roast battle. I'm like, you suck. Like, I don't even know who you are. But like, I mean, no, and I'm not shitting on the show at all. I fucking love Moses. I like the show. But I also am like, it's just like there's no quality control, I feel like. Whereas with Kill Tony, it's like, hey, you guys are going to suck dick, but it's only for a minute. And then when we interview, you're going to get to redeem yourself because that's how we get to know you. You kind of get like a second chance.
Yeah.
And you guys kind of shit on them too, but it's always funny. Like that's what it's about. You got to make a joke.
And they sign up for it. And half the time, even their minute's good. So then even that, we get that in 60 seconds. Sometimes it takes one of these people 60 seconds to say their one bad joke on that show.
Right.
And then you have to hear their next joke and their next joke.
And some of them are just like mean. And I'm like, maybe that's why, like, I'm like, if it's mean and it's real good, then I feel guilty about laughing.
Exactly.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
But when it's just mean and it's like, I don't know. It's just tough for me. Yeah.
No, I'm with you there. It's a fine art, and I love that line. That's my favorite thing. Is like, I always pitch the ones that are the meanest. You know, for example, we just roasted Alec Baldwin, right?
Yeah. Which one was yours? I'm dying to know.
Well, I mean, I got all up in that thing, like all throughout it,
Okay.
except for Robert De Niro and, I guess like at the end, Ken Jeong really didn't take much of our stuff, which
Okay, you probably should have.
which if you watch the roast, you'll probably see that he definitely didn't. Like we tried to. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We tried to help you, Ken, if you're listening. Remember, we tried to help you. Anyway, but one of the things that they suggested that we shouldn't joke about, because Caitlyn Jenner was on the roast, and one of the things they suggested we shouldn't joke about, which I'm sure means that a fucking pussy ass network exec, just a gaping pussy pie,
Yeah.
was like, hey, you know, I think you should maybe let the writers know that we shouldn't joke about Caitlyn's car accident. Right? Which,
What?
by the way,
That's the best part.
exactly.
That's exactly what we should be joking around about.
Exactly. She killed someone with her car and then paid the family off to shut the fuck up and not have a
She
problem.
was well on
with
her
it.
way to being a woman. Driving
Unbelievable.
through Malibu on Rosé.
I
The
mean,
second she turns into a woman, she gets into a car accident.
It was unbelievable. But we weren't allowed to joke about it, which, if you're wondering, like, I already had...
Probably legal reasons. Who knows?
Sure, of course, yeah, and all that and this and that. But I'm telling you, I had 20 fucking bangers coming from people on Caitlyn's driving, coming from Caitlyn. I wanted her to come out. I pitched for the first words of her appearance, which, you know, I mean, you guys probably know this, but like, this is a big deal having Caitlyn Jenner on a roast. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
it could have easily been the roast of Caitlyn Jenner,
Right.
and probably would have done twice the numbers. 'Cause
Yeah.
who gives a fuck about Alec Baldwin? Like,
Yeah.
you don't. I wonder what the jokes are going to be about his acting. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know
Yeah.
what's coming with Caitlyn. You don't want to miss.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and I wanted her to come out guns a-blazing and open up with, you know, hello everyone, I'm Caitlyn Jenner, and I'm about to unapologetically murder again. and just let the crowd just fucking roll around for a second
Dude.
before she even does an actual
I
like.
would have died if I
Yeah,
heard that.
yeah,
seriously.
exactly. No, I know. That's the shit that I'm into. I had more control and more say in like the Martha Stewart script
Okay.
of Bieber
All right.
years
Was
ago.
this you though? Was this you? It was Alec Baldwin talking about Blake Griffin. His eyes. He was like, "I wish we were as close as your eyes are."
No.
That sounds like a
No,
Tony
that's-
Hinchcliffe. No.
no, it's
Oh
not.
God, that was my favorite.
I mean, yeah.
Because the camera panned back to his face, and I was like, "Oh, they are kind of close together."
Yeah, no, he does have weird
He's a
eyes.
good-looking guy. I'm into that
Yeah.
Neanderthal look,
No, but
almost cross-eyed.
he's a goofy looking guy.
Yeah.
Willie wrote a funny one about Blake Griffin. You know, a lot of NBA players are into like unprotected sex, and Blake Griffin uses Cro-Magnon condoms.
That's fucking great.
I don't think it ever made it to like draft one, but
That's hilarious.
that's my brain does this weird thing where it shuts off and unmemorizes everything that I write for these roasts to keep room, I think,
For yourself.
for whatever is right in
Yeah.
front of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always look ahead.
Yeah, totally.
What's the next joke, not the
Right.
last one?
There you go.
Like Jen upstairs a second ago, I complimented her T-shirt,
Yeah.
right? It says, you know, Penthouse Talent Scout. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, are you really a Penthouse Talent Scout? Yeah, I'm just goofing around. And she goes, no, but I am a girl that likes T-shirts 10 to 15 years old. And I'm like, heck yeah, you like your T-shirts like Epstein likes his girlfriends. Yeah. You know.
Speaking of which, do you think he really
Isn't
fucked
that
those kids? And do you think he's still alive?
Do you really think that he didn't fuck those kids? And of course he's still alive.
I mean, absolutely.
Mossad never leaves a good man behind.
Let me tell you something. When you're not into fucking kids, you can't understand.
You
I
don't, know,
read
you
this-
don't know what it's like.
I read this list of fucking famous pedophiles the other day. You ever see that thing? Woo!
Yeah, I've seen the Oscars.
All your
Princes,
favorite, all
politicians.
your favorite musicians
Yeah.
and artists
Fuck.
of
Yeah.
all time.
Do you think it's inspiring to fuck kids, or that comes like after? You know what I mean? Like, or you're inspired.
I think it comes
and-
after. I think you're bored. You can't feel
Robert
guilt.
Plant, right?
You can't feel
Robert
feelings anymore.
Mm.
Robert Plant wasn't just fucking underage girls. He was fucking them with fish. He was so tired of pussy at that point.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you just got thrown so much pussy, I guess. That
Yeah.
no, I think if
Your
you're a
theory is
pedophile,
that
your
you
just
get-
brain's fucked.
Well, yeah, that's
Somehow.
why you became a rock star to begin with.
Okay, well, that's one way to get catfished.
I mean, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I got catfished by Robert Plant, and boy, does my butt hurt.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny. She's trying to tell her friends the story, right? Oh, I got catfished by Robert Plant. And the lady's like, oh, sweetheart, maybe one day it'll work out. It's like, no. He fucked me with a catfish. All right.
That's strange. Did that really
Came
happen?
three
Yeah, it
times.
was a hammerhead shark. It was even worse.
Yeah, it was
It
not.
was
Really?
like- it was
Not a-
the worst thing.
No,
you
it
could-
wasn't a normal
I
fish.
swear
It was
to God,
a
it
shark.
was a hammerhead shark. They probably took it out of their.
Rock and roll. Yeah. What's your favorite song? The lyrics are so dumb. Robert
What?
Plant.
I don't know.
That's the one that's
Oh,
about
yeah.
fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
yeah.
He talks about
exactly.
Mordor. No,
Yeah.
there's another one. There's a ballad. He's singing
Yeah.
to an elf in the fucking song, dude.
Yeah, it's
Going
pretty
back to
fucking gay,
Mordor.
dude.
I fucking hate
I
that
mean-
band. If you could just
Led
erase,
Zeppelin?
I love the music. They jam, dude.
Yeah,
There's great
Listen
pop
to the
smoking music,
lyrics.
but you got to remove that
The wind and
voice.
the storm. And
It's,
the
Let me
it's
tell you
und-
something.
It's undeniable that they stole great music.
Yeah,
That's
and also
undeniable.
they're just
So
they
Willie
just were,
Dixon rules.
they were just never that great. And I've gotten into this argument my entire life with
Yeah.
people. Led Zeppelin was just like this basic bitch.
Yeah.
It never
Yeah.
really, and
they
people
caught
are
the
like,
ballads, I think.
that's
is what
rock
happened.
and roll.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's people doing, don't even get me started.
I
on
don't like
this.
the Stones, actually.
I agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
I don't get it. I
It's
don't
not
get it.
good. I'll
There's
give
a
you
couple
another
of
one.
good
You want to
songs.
know
Yeah,
another
you guys
one?
gotta
This
listen to
is
that
another
earlier,
one. This
yeah.
is spiking the football right here. This is where I lose everybody listening to this. Ready? Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. Ready for this one?
Please say the Grateful Dead.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yes! If he's the boss,
Sucks.
I
Get
quit.
out. Get
I
out.
quit.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Has
The
always
worst.
sucked. He's a
Cheeseball.
pandering
Only one I
fool.
like was the one he did in a hotel room. I don't even know the song. Apparently I didn't like it that much.
Yeah,
that one. That one. Yeah.
That could be 100% of his
That's all of
songs.
his songs.
Yeah, that one.
She
Yeah, that
likes
one.
that
Yeah.
You're traveling America.
New Jersey.
I was depressed.
Whoa.
I was depressed.
Oh, you
right?
guys
That's
don't even
probably-
react to it. Did
Yeah.
you say the N-word? All right.
I did.
I
say the
pretended
N-word,
like I
New
liked the
Jersey.
Grateful Dead
Yeah.
for years
Why would you do that?
because my boyfriend was into him, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, I fuck.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
Hate
fuck
they're
this
not.
music.
They're
It's
not.
the worst.
They're not
Hated
even.
that music.
Honestly,
No.
I never listen to them. Like they don't even
Isn't
come
that
up in
weird?
any algorithms. Like it's like now the
It's so
music's
bad.
accessible. They're not a thing at all.
Riding that
Yeah.
train high on
What?
cocaine was the only one that I was
Right.
like, all right.
Touch
cool.
of Grey.
Right.
Touch of Grey was their only
Right.
good song.
The first
That's great.
first night I ever heard that
But
song.
still.
This is how long they avoided me. I was 18 years old the first time I heard Casey. What is it? The riding the train high on cocaine.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Casey and the
Casey. It's Casey Jones or something.
Casey Jones.
Casey
yeah.
Jones.
Anyway, first time I heard that was the first time I ever did mushrooms, and the first and only time I ever did Molly, and it was at Bonnaroo, and I heard it live from them.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Bonnaroo's
So
been
I had
going
it in
on
my
that
head.
long? Damn.
it was one of the first ones, 2003,
Where at? In the East Coast somewhere, I'm guessing?
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yep, right in the middle of a giant field, right where it always is. It's out in Manchester, Tennessee. I think about a couple hours from Nashville.
So you're from Ohio, Youngstown, right?
Yep.
And then is this the first place you moved from there?
Yeah, I spent a little time in Columbus,
Okay.
but not long at all. And then out here, and then had to go back, recharge for like 6 months to Youngstown. Had
Yeah.
to remake money again,
Yeah.
and came back out and started stand-up. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
So when you originally came out, was it for stand-up or acting or what was
when
it?
I originally came out, I was really just chilling. I was really just getting stoned,
Yeah.
hanging out with my brother who lived here before me,
Right.
crashing on his couch. Well, not really. Back then we had an RV. We had an RV that was we paid these guys like I don't know, a couple $100 or $400 or something to let us park in their driveway and
Yeah.
let us use their. They had like a 2.5 bathroom house. We would just use their bathroom, and basically their
That's hilarious.
freezer and fridge, like because we didn't run that in the RV. And yeah, I lived there. I lived in an RV with my brother for, I'd probably guess and say, probably about 9 to 12 months.
Damn.
Were you doing comedy?
No. Now, at that point, I knew that I was going to do comedy. It wasn't that I was just preparing a lot. It was a lot of just really procrastinating. I didn't have the work ethic at all because I hadn't fallen in love because I hadn't done it. I hadn't been at a comedy club. I hadn't I hadn't found the thing that I loved the most yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing when people go into comedy without ever actually having been to a club first.
Yeah.
You just jump into that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like mentally preparing for it.
Yeah. And I just didn't ever go to the local comedy club in Youngstown or Columbus. I'd hear about it on the radio. Of course, it was glorified to me on television. I loved it as a kid, this and that, everything. I mean, very intrigued by everything. And, loved Jim Carrey as a kid and saw Man on the Moon and was taken away by it. So did a lot of research on Andy Kaufman, and that was more my thing, was like somewhere between Jim Carrey and Andy Kaufman when I was younger. I was very impressionist-y and very goofy, but again, like smoking
Fire
pot.
Marshal Bill, man, that was my jam when I was a little kid. Yeah, dude.
Let me show you something.
And my older brother kind of looked like Ace. We'd call him Ace Ventura. He'd get so fucking mad. I'm like, hey, Ace. And he had a bowl cut too, and he lost one of his front teeth. It was perfect. It was the best.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, we enjoyed the RV too. It was really cool. And then eventually, I think the landlord figured out what was going on, so we had to move the RV. So we moved it to a street around the corner. But we were both working restaurant jobs and whatnot, and one of the places we parked had access obviously to a shower and like a locker room, so that was cool. And then one night we went to like a Christmas party, and we grabbed a paper map that we had in the RV. This is back then because we didn't have smartphones this long ago. Anyway, so we looked at a paper map because the party was at Malibu, and this was we had it like a 1976 29-foot.
Jesus.
Unbelievably awesome on the inside Winnebago. You know my brother Donnie.
Yeah.
It was me and Donnie.
It was well taken care of, I'm sure. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just everybody wanted to hang out inside. It could hold fucking, whatever. Just a great party.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, I mean, my brother was really into it, but he's like, we should take the RV to this beach party that they're having in Malibu. I'm like, okay, we just got done with the shift. We're going in late. So he's like, look at the map. Let's find the best route. And we're so stoned. That's a thing that my brother does. He smokes blunts continuously like Snoop Dogg, like just absolutely continuously. So we're blunted up to the gourds, and we're looking at this paper map, and we pick this one route without looking at elevation at all. And it turns out that the route that we picked was the Santa Monica sanctuary, like mountain sanctuary. I mean, just
my hands are sweating.
Oh, you have no idea. Because to this day, my brother swears, and he is not a conspiracy theorist. He's not a spiritual man at all.
Yeah.
He swears up and down that something helped us that night, and because the brakes shouldn't have been working at all. Like we were taking tons and tons. Literally the next day, the tow truck, when we explained to the tow truck, who has, mind you, a special tow truck, super duper strength because it's a fucking 29-foot RV, that we broke the engine, by the way.
Jesus.
The engine was broken immediately because, like, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Even if fucking there was some super luxury band's tour bus, like 2020 fucking tour bus, they would never, ever take it over this. And we survived. I mean, pitch black dark, middle of the night. I'll never forget looking out the window and seeing what the stars look like up there that night. It felt like my last night on Earth. It was very crazy. And again, not a spiritual guy, my brother. I wasn't driving. You know what I mean? I just remember sort of just feeling this feeling of this is one of the scariest things. So
what happened? You guys were going uphill? Like
we were going uphill, just
mountain? Oh my God.
But going slow. We thought we were just coming around a corner, you know what I mean? Or like that it was going to be over any second, but then you come around another corner and it's just straight up. And what are you going to do? You going to stop? Are you going to stop there? No, we couldn't stop. So fucking go. And then you come around another corner, and you're like, all right, we're going down any second, right? We could not fathom.
My God.
We couldn't fathom. And it's funny because a couple times I think since then, at least once, I had to get around there to shoot something for something once, like, something. And I was driving it in the car that I have now, which is, it's got very good handling. It's a very good car. And I could not believe. I could tell it was the same shit because it was shocking that if I had twice as big of a car, it would be a challenge. If you had one of those little Astro vans, it would be a challenge.
It's amazing that some of the things you do when you're younger and you're fucking retarded. How am I still alive? Like, how did I make it this far? I think of a lot of instances like that, but
it's crazy.
So now your brother's a Christian? He believes in God now?
No. Hell no.
But he's like, seriously think something.
He's positive that there was an external force that kept us alive that night.
Yeah, it was called weed. You already said it. He smoked a whole shit ton of it. He could feel the fucking road.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine. The tow truck driver could not believe. He could not fathom what we were telling him. The guy that knew about engines and size and safety.
I mean,
he's like, I'm not allowed to take this tow truck or any tow truck of any kind up there. Like if you do that, they have to have a special hill thing.
How the fuck did he do? How the hell did they take it down though?
Well, we ended up. That's the scary part is we made it all the way up and all the way down, which was really that's the dumb part. Yeah. Once we leveled out, but again, you don't know what's around the next corner. You don't know if you're going up or down. It's the middle of the night. It's not a smartphone. Yeah. We didn't have smartphones. There's no map on your phone. Mm-hmm. It's so frightening to think about now.
Well, when I first moved
to
LA,
people would just
MapQuest.
Panic, like if their phone died up there without a charger.
I'm dumb. I don't know where the hell I'm going now, but before it was like MapQuest or you just remember the route.
Right.
You have to actually be paying attention.
Right.
Now it's like, I'm like, I don't even know LA the way I should because I've always had GPS,
So we made it down in the middle of the night. Yeah. We ended up making it, and we show up to this party at 1 a.m. Everybody's minds are blown like, oh, shit. And it's a great party, and we get fucked up. We don't think that the RV's broke at all for some reason.
Oh, my God.
We don't think
you guys made it down.
We don't think of engine troubles with the 1974 29-foot RV. We don't think about it. And then the next day, I remember my brother starts it, and it goes, right? And it's normal sound. Mm-hmm. And then you just hear the loudest, like it was like the devil pissing on us from the skies. Just and below and all underneath the hood, like the front of the RV, you just see this green ooze coming out. Because every fucking, I guess, gasket and head and tube, everything exploded or something like that. I don't know.
We rode it till the wheels fell off and literally the engine blew up.
Yeah, it was incredible. So here's another fun fact. You think that's the end of the story? No, we get it towed back to where the street that we lived on, right?
Yeah.
And so now we have a broken RV. Now we're living in a broken RV and you have to go to work and you got to fucking come back and you have a broken RV. So street sweeping's on Tuesday and it's still 29 feet and from 1974. So you have to get some like neighborhood kids to help you. Took like a rope, you know what I mean? To
push it.
To
push
and pull it around.
And you'd have to turn it. Right, 29-foot RV with human beings, and then you have to back it out. And then guess what? Street sweeping on the other side is what? Wednesday. So the next day, you gotta fucking get neighborhood kids, move it back, or else you get a fucking $85 LA goddamn street sweeping or worse.
Well, how are the homeless people doing it now? Do they just do meth and then do it themselves, like push their fucking RV from one side to the other?
They don't get tickets because when I lived in Venice, that lady was selling drugs, literally selling meth out of her van, and she had all the stolen bikes on the back of it, where you couldn't even see the license plate. No license plate in the front, by the way.
How do you know she doesn't have 100 children?
I got. You're right. Maybe.
And we fucked up, by the way, because this was Burbank. For some reason, that's where my brother first landed, and he thought that was a good area or something. I don't know, but boy, we laugh about that shit now because Burbank police were the worst. They are the worst. They're notorious.
Yeah.
They don't fuck around.
No, they don't
You
fuck
guys
around
just
at
did
all.
Venice.
They thought we were selling fucking dime bags out of that RV because we were. So we'd have people come up
guess.
and they would just obviously buy weed from us and then leave. It was such a clear operation, and it was so dumb. Again, looking back at it, like, is this really part of my story? How the fuck? Look, 20 sacks. We were always in fear. We were in fear to go pick up the few ounces that we would sell in dime bags and fucking eighths, you know what I mean? That was always stressful because, again, no car. So it's the broken RV, so you have to take buses and trains. Now you're on a bus with 6 ounces of pot or whatever.
Yeah, how do you live in fear like that? Like when you're younger, I think your brain, you're just dumber. I don't know. Yeah, I can't do it now.
You just do it. Yeah, here's the thing: is you just do what you fucking do to survive. Some people will just fucking survive. Now, even then. At that point, because I had just been maxed out and my energy was drained, I went back to Youngstown, saved up money, and I'm glad I didn't start stand-up thing because I didn't have any, you know what I mean? It was just chaos. So when I started, I wanted to start and commit. So, yeah.
Was this the first club you went to in LA or?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I always wanted to come here. This is the first place that you did stand-up too?
Yep.
No fucking shit.
Yep. And I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I've always been a fan of this place externally through, again, Jim Carrey, David Letterman. I read these murmurs about Andy Kaufman. In the Andy Kaufman books, they make it look like he was like traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees. Yeah. So the way they talk about how he was an improv guy and then he found this club, and then he was Mitzi's guy. Like that's how sort of Bob Zamuda tells the story in the main Andy Kaufman book that I read as a kid and like worshipped. I was obsessed. Like it was just like such a rock star type of thing.
What's the book called?
It's Andy Kaufman Revealed. Okay. It's a classic fucking book. I mean, it just imagine being a fucking, I don't know, 13, 14-year-old I was when that came out.
Yeah.
Or at least when the movie came out, which made me read the book. And
I remember
so it just took over my life. I was so intrigued. So I always had the comedy store as this, like, I still remember seeing it for the first time. Like I knew where it was, so I like took that corner down there slow, got off the bus a few stops early. Like it was a very like religious, I'd say, moment for me. And I was right, man. I loved this place.
That's awesome.
Were you a door guy?
Yep.
How'd you do it?
Well, I showed up to that first open mic, and it went well, and the next bunch of times didn't, but I stayed relentless, signing up and showing up, especially other nights of the week. I would just show up, and once I heard that comedians can sit in the back of the room and watch the show, I'm like, oh, it's on like fucking Donkey Kong, man. And I knew that if I started doing that I was, and also another thing that I would do, which thank God I did it, man, is, it was a very dark, depressed mood, morale, staff around here then. So another thing I would do is, because again, my brother and I were selling, small amounts of weed to people, is I would roll 2 or 3 little pinter joints, and I mean fucking pinters, bro. Like we wouldn't even smoke it. They were embarrassing, but in retrospect, back then, again, that was also like illegal, and this was 2007 and whatever. But I'd bring those little pinter joints here, and I'd fucking scope out the Jimmy Pids, the fucking burgers, the goddamn every fucking angry dude that was working here. I got them on my side. I made them think that if I'm around here, I'm gonna smoke weed with you, pally boy. Don't you want me around? And then boom. Nailed it right on the head. Kept writing every single day. Was obsessed with it. Shout out to Stephen King's book On Writing, where he talks about writing. It's unbelievable. Okay. So that I wrote during the day and did stand up every night.
Fuck yeah. Now all these guys do is ask me for free ice water. I'm like, hey, fuck face. At least throw me $1, you cunt bag. You don't have nothing to offer.
But I'm telling you, it's hard. It's so funny you mention that, because Eddie at the Improv loves me now. And again, this is a guy, first, I don't know, man. So it's been 12 and a half years. The first 10 years, I would say. That's maybe 9, but really it's 10.
Yeah.
The first 10 years he hated my guts because I didn't have $1 for an ice water there.
Who's Eddie?
Eddie's the bartender for like 30 years at the Hollywood Improv, and maybe 40 years actually.
Yeah.
And but there it's a little bit different because they make you wait in a line. Back then they made you wait in a line outside in the heat from like 3:30 to like 6.
Mm-hmm.
They would just leave you on the sidewalk, and you had to be there, and you had to keep your spot, and you had to stay. It was like ridiculous.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So it was like you're in the desert for 4 hours.
Yeah,
and
dude.
you don't have money.
Like,
I'd be
please
like,
help me.
You know, I went up to him
Yeah.
literally like, so blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
that bullshit.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
And now I fucking eat the fancy quesadilla with the fancy whiskey. Here you go, Eddie. Here's an extra 20. You son of a bitch. All right. You get
That's
it, though.
okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. But
No,
yes,
no.
that's my point is
Yeah.
it makes it so much fun now being able to be aware of that and give back
yeah.
and think of those things every time I fucking sit at that bar. It's like,
Yeah.
I think I think it's good for, and I'm no famous like superstar celebrity. I'm not mainstream, whatever.
Mm.
But I'm just saying, I think it's important for anybody that wants to get better at something to really, you know, cherish that stuff every day and think of those things. Think of how empty that main room was on Mondays. Let your own work and advancements inspire you. You know,
It's very true.
For sure.
Yeah. This place was very dark for a while. I mean, remember when, our paychecks would bounce. Fucking, they would pay me in chicken tenders. Like, honestly, like, I was like, they're like, oh, the show's not going to happen. The show's cut. We had a rule. 4 people would have to show up, and then the show would go on. Sometimes not even that would show up, okay? And then they're like, well, you're cut. And I'm like, I spent my last $5 in gas to get to work. Like, it's just when I first moved to LA. I was fucking broke shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, well, you want some chicken tenders? I'm like, of course I want chicken tenders. I haven't eaten all day because I'm fucking starving. But that's how they would pay me.
yeah, you would try
It's
to
way different now. It's so much better.
You would try anything to just get the show going. Those 4 people weren't easy.
No.
There'd be like
Not at all.
3 people, and you'd be like, let's start the show. There's
Yeah.
4. And Tommy would be like, well, I'm 4th Argus Hamilton. You're not fooling me.
Yeah.
He's going up.
And even the customers would get nervous. They're like, is there going to be a show? I'm like, yeah, there is. No, you should stay.
Yeah.
I would like try to get people. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
please, for the love
stay.
of God, please stay. Please
Yeah.
stay.
Tell your friends. Get them here.
Yeah, please.
Please
stay.
call anyone.
Oh, that's brutal.
You order a pizza so the 4th, we can say there's 4 people in the room.
How many shows were going on that were bringer shows during that time? It must have been the majority of them.
Yep.
Majority.
Yeah, majority. It was the only things that were ever in the belly room of the main room, other than the Saturday main room show. There was a best of Saturday show that had like old school motherfuckers on it. The guy from Roger Rabbit,
Charles Fleischer.
Charles Fleischer, Barry Diamond,
Barry
It's
Diamond.
like
Barry
goddamn
Diamond.
relics. Just fucking. It was like Tales from the fucking Crypt
He
in
just
there.
recently followed me on Instagram, by the way.
Ooh.
Shout out to Barry Diamond.
Whoa. I'm sorry, Barry.
I used to.
Yikes.
Someone
Fan of the
educated
show.
him.
Big fan of the show, Rose. Decided to follow you on Instagram. It's me, Barry Diamond.
I used to crack up so hard. Everybody hated when he got on. I would laugh so fucking hard because it was like basically like dad jokes, but he's not a dad because he's very gay, which I totally found out just recently. But
Really? He's gay?
yes.
Oh. Look at that.
With a last name like
know.
Diamond.
Look at that.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah.
Barry, yeah. I don't
Shine
even
on, you
remember-
crazy Barry.
I don't even remember.
Shine on, you Barry Diamond.
Shine on you, Barry Diamond. See, that's real music. Fucking
Yeah,
Pink
Floyd's
Floyd.
all right.
Yeah,
All day, every day. All right?
fuck you,
Every
Grateful
once in a while,
Dead.
I mean, every other day or the day after that, my neighbors have to hear fucking Dark Side of the Moon. And I make Alexa do it in the bathroom, too.
Really?
I don't even touch my
I
phone
do like
for
Dark
that
Side of the
one.
Moon.
I've never heard that album. I own it.
Shut the fuck
I've
up.
never listened to it.
Shut up.
I'm serious. I just got into the album the Shine On You Crazy Diamond. I bought that at Barnes and Noble 2 months ago. That
No, I'm
album
just
is
gonna think
great.
of Barry
I'm not
Diamond.
kidding. It's
You bought
awesome.
Wish You Were Here 2
Like
months
2
ago
months
at a
ago.
Barnes and Noble?
It's
What is
awesome.
wrong
No
with you?
shit, it's awesome.
I had a discount.
Wish You Were Here is the worst song on that album. A little fun fact about the album Wish You Were Here.
How do
Wish
you-
You Were Here is the worst song on the album. Listen to it. It'll blow your mind. But that's the
check
one.
it out.
I have
Also,
a
never
crazy
heard The Wall.
I have a
I used
conspiracy
to
theory
listen to that
about
over and over again when I was like 12.
I have a conspiracy theory about Pink Floyd that that this whole like acid trippy reputation that they have was like forced from the government, so that they never got as much control as they deserved. I think like business and media and government came together to sort of fuck with them. You listen to any of their albums, they're superior artists, and you talk to any musician after or pretty much during them, unless you're talking to a psycho egomaniac, and they'll tell you they worship them, and especially afterwards. They're the most influential musician. No musician could say that they're bad or they suck or they're hacky or anything. Plus they gave the live show, plus they did everything different and experimental. It's like comparing, like the Beatles are basically fucking hacks, you know what I mean? Great music, sure, but they're going, what is love, 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 love. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. If you really look at it, I mean, it hurts because I love
like
a lot
John
of Beatles
Lennon
shit.
behind the scenes,
right? Yes,
but in front.
Like Harry Nilsson and John Lennon. You know Harry Nilsson?
Oh, yeah. The Lost Weekend where he fucked someone who looked just like Yoko,
How have you not-
but was like 2 years younger.
How do you know about this, but you haven't listened to Dark
I
Side
know
of the
every.
Moon?
I really like
You smoke pot?
Yeah, I like.
You've never listened to Dark Side of the Moon.
I haven't. I like the Sid Barrett version of Pink Floyd
He's really
better.
racist.
This is crazy. You have good headphones at home?
Of course.
Okay. Dude, do me a favor, bro. You fucking get stoned to the gullets. Turn off all the lights in the room. Throw those headphones on loud and listen to Dark Side of the Moon, dude. What the fuck are we talking about here? It's like goddamn Eddie Firth has never seen Pulp Fiction. I can't take him
That's
seriously.
retarded. Yeah.
I can't take him seriously. Have you watched Pulp Fiction yet?
That's
Unbelievable.
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Thank
Just
you.
jizzed on
That
you.
is
At
a
Eddie
little-
Firth on
How
social
rude.
media.
Do not add Eddie Firth.
F-U-R-T-H.
But
He has,
do
he has
tweet
Crohn's
at
if you
him.
want to insult him.
Tweet at him and ask why he hasn't seen this movie. Hey, have you ever watched Dark
Is he
Side of the
in pain?
Moon with the
Yep.
with the Wizard of Oz?
Yep.
That's the way I want to experience it the first time. That's my
Yeah.
plan.
No. Experience that the second time. It's
Okay.
going to be fucking mind-blowing for you.
All right.
Again, that's one of the all-time great anomalies of all time.
Hey guys, by the way, if you listen to Iron Maiden's "Running with the Devil" synced up to our YouTube channel, it still doesn't make sense. It'll make even less sense.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much,
coming
Tony.
on.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, guys.
He's probably shadow banned still at Tony Hinchcliffe on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep. If you're listening from anywhere near New York, D.C., Australia, Sacramento, San Francisco, Calgary, or Phoenix, Dallas, or Houston, I'm coming near you. I'm going to be near you.
yes.
TonyHinchcliffe.com for tickets for very soon-to-be shows. Those are all coming up right around the corner. TonyHinchcliffe.com. Come see a live show. Support live comedy. Support me. Remember, I used to live in a broken RV.
Oh, we love you, Tony. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Keep on trolling. Oh, my ears are sweating.